Get ready. The news that Jurassic World The Ride would be replacing Jurassic Park The Ride would have been controversial to many Universal Studios Hollywood fans. Despite some of the grumblings, we're here to discuss why this incarnation of the attraction is a good ride. With such a lush storyline, physical sets, animatronics and overall ride experience, it's a clear forerunner to be included in our What Makes This Ride So Good series. It's a classic in the overall theme park industry and a cornerstone of themed entertainment and attractions as a whole. But before we jump into the meat of the video, please take the time out to press the like button if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing to our channel if you're into all things theme parks. We put out new videos every week and it really helps keep us motivated to share our content with you. But anyway, why is Jurassic World The Ride so good? Well, let's find out as we unpack the details and features of this amazing attraction. Get ready. The history. For a ride 65 million years in the making, it would be remiss to not kick things off with a look at the origins of how we got to the present day attraction. In parallel with the franchise itself, before we had Jurassic World The Ride, we had Jurassic Park The Ride. The original incarnation was in production prior to the release of the original 1993 film, however. Michael Crichton's 1990 novel was a runaway smash hit. Steven Spielberg was quick off the mark to agree to the movie rights, ensuring that it would make for an epic blockbuster. But before the film even had a script, Spielberg approached Universal stating that it would also make a great ride. Original concepts for the ride followed more closely to the Jeep scene, bringing guests on a tour of the park from the confines of a vehicle. However, it was quickly realised that this would be next to impossible with the technology at the time. It just wasn't feasible to have an attraction that would feature a T-Rex chasing riders and presented in a realistic fashion. Similarly, while the film would utilise many practical effects and props, it wouldn't make sense to rely solely on computer animation and screens or other 3D effects. A boat ride would allow for an easier development while also filling a gap in the attraction roster, providing the park with a much needed water ride. The attraction is said to have cost $110 million, dwarfing that of the budget for the film, which cost just a measly $63 million. At the time, Jurassic Park The Ride was the most expensive theme park attraction ever built. A large price tag does not always equate to a good ride, but it definitely provides a budget to make an expansive and impressive attraction. The ride officially opened to the public on June 21st, 1996, where it ran its course until it closed under the Jurassic Park The Ride moniker in September 2018. With the launch of the newer Jurassic World franchise, it would make sense that some changes would be on the horizon. Jurassic World is comfortably sitting within the top 10 highest grossing films of all time. With such mass appeal and a full trilogy made up of 2 sequels, adapting the ride to fit the Jurassic World theme made complete business sense. Despite some grumbling fans, it was announced on May 10th, 2018 that the ride would be updated to fit the new theme. The ride would last operate under its previous theme in September 2018, before reopening as Jurassic World The Ride on July 12th, 2019. The story. In order to understand the story behind Jurassic World The Ride, we need to once again reel back in time. While the updated version of the attraction was based on the new franchise, the story origins can actually be traced back to the novel. As is the case with the majority of rides we have featured in this series, story is often paramount to creating a good ride. We have stressed this before, but creating stories for attractions puts the riders into the action. We are no longer just passive agents as the ride just happens, but riders are actually the story. This attraction, being based on a specific portion of the original novel, therefore places great emphasis on the storytelling aspect of this ride. As mentioned, the original concept for a Jurassic Park ride was to bring guests on a Jeep safari as seen in the film. However, the limitations of having freestanding animatronics would have proved too difficult, particularly for the time. Instead, the idea was floated that the ride should take on an adjacent storyline from the novel rather than the film. In the book, the main characters attempt to return to the visitor centre via an inflatable boat. The boat actually came from one of Jurassic Park's intended attractions, Jungle River Cruise, and the inspiration for this should be pretty obvious. But it's another reason to love this ride and the tongue-in-cheek nature Universal are known to adapt as part of their branding of their parks. This gentle boat ride offers up-close observations of the dinosaurs found in the park. In a sense, Jurassic World The Ride is essentially an extension of the original concept. In a metatextual and self-referential way, riders are guests to Jurassic World and get to experience one of its signature attractions. We are no longer visiting Universal Studios Hollywood, but Jurassic World. This multi-layered storytelling adds depth to an already stellar attraction. As is the case with other great rides featured in the series, the story separates a good physical ride from an all-round great attraction. We would be inclined to make this distinction because a ride is just a single-dimension experience. But with a story, the riders are active agents within their surroundings. This gives context and place to what you are experiencing and makes for a much more full and holistic encounter. The ride. As mentioned, Jurassic World The Ride is a gentle boat ride through Jurassic World. Riders board a 25-person raft set for an unforgettable voyage where they will encounter and observe some amazing creatures up close and personal. The boat ascends a small lift hill, and we are greeted by a sign advising that we are entering into a time when dinosaurs rule the world. As we round the corner, we enter an aquarium observatory that is home to a domineering Mosasaurus. On each side of the tunnel, glass paneling offers a view into this aquatic dinosaur's habitat. While there are critiques to be made about the reliance and the use of screens in modern theme park attractions, this is an example of a tasteful use of this technology. We get to witness the fluid motion of the Mosasaurus as it snatches its prey. As the dinosaur breaches the water and splashes down, water overflows from the enclosure, soaking guests. It works perfectly in tandem with what's being projected and is a very effective use of the immersive qualities seen in some screen-based attractions. This helps immerse guests in their surroundings, helping to reduce the static nature of just observing images on a screen. As the Mosasaurus observes the riders, it attempts to reach the guests but crashes into the glass, causing it to crack. This suggests the power of the dinosaurs we are encountering, while also foreshadowing the potential peril we may find ourselves in at a later point. It's a great way to introduce us to the ride, while also being subtle enough not to warrant too much concern. We then progress through a cave that introduces us to the lush and tropical enclosure that houses some of the park's land-based creatures. Here, we encounter a mother and baby Stegosaurus on either side of our boat. Things are still pleasant, and we get to observe the majesty of the dinosaurs in an almost uncanny natural environment. The tone slightly changes though, as a Parasaurolophus emerges from the water, squirting guests as we begin to cross the threshold into Predator Cove. As we round the corner, we get our first glimpse of things that would suggest something bad has already taken place. An abandoned and destroyed gyrosphere is seen to the left of the boat, while a pair of Compsognathus fight over a tourist's hat. A code red warning message is played over the ride's PA system, advising that the park's Indominus Rex has escaped its paddock, along with a T-Rex and other predators. The sense of terror is also piqued through the use of on-ride music, building the tension as we enter into this danger zone. The park operations manager, Claire Deering, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, comes on screen trying to ease the riders' worries, stating that help is on its way. As riders begin to enter the T-Rex kingdom, dinosaur behavioural researcher Owen Grady, played by Chris Pratt, warns guests to stay in their boat. This creates an extra layer of tension, as in reality, riders have no choice but to remain stapled in their seats thanks to the boat's restraints. We are passively entering further into the perilous situation that we have no control over. The rider's agency in this situation is stripped, and we begin to feel helpless. Further damage to the enclosures are seen as fencing is visibly damaged. Just before riders begin to ascend another lift hill, the Indominus Rex peeks its head through a hole in the wall. Owen has sent his trusty Velociraptor Blue to help us escape. As riders ascend further up the lift hill, a raptor emerges from a panel in the ceiling. When the boat reaches its top height, a Dilophosaurus spits venom at the boat. Despite it only being water, the fact that it squirts from the dinosaur's mouth can still evoke a visceral reaction from riders. It's pretty gross, but it's another clever tactic of getting people wet, gearing them up for the climactic conclusion of the attraction. As we round the corner, another hyper-realistic animatronic Indominus Rex appears from above the riders' heads. We are then greeted by blue, indicating that we are near the exit, but the Indominus has beaten us to our escape. Death feels imminent. However, the villain from the original attraction arrives just in time to buy us some precious seconds for an escape. Yes, another impressive T-Rex animatronic shows up to distract the Indominus as we manage to make it to the emergency exit. The only issue being that it involves a 25.6 meter drop into a lagoon. The constant build-up of tension throughout the whole experience is resolved into a climactic and adrenaline-pumping finish. It's perfectly timed and provides us with the cathartic splashdown, ensuring guests get soaked if they weren't already. final thoughts. Jurassic World The Ride is one of those attractions that has a string of amazing features that accumulate together and make a perfect melting pot. Piggybacking off a popular franchise allows for the building blocks for a pop culture powerhouse. While it might be easier to phone it in and use popularity to garner an audience, a la Fast and Furious Supercharged, this ride does the opposite and actually strives to make a good ride first and foremost. The metatextual and self-referential storyline is an intelligent way to frame the context of what we're experiencing on the ride. It places us in a fictional park while being within a theme park, and makes for a unique attraction unlike many others. To top it all off, the actual ride itself is amazing, using top-class animatronics, a constant stream of building tension, and a dramatic ending that resolves quite like a movie. As is the case with many good attractions, we become the stars in our own story. And as we have seen before with many of Universal's rides, it gives us the opportunity to ride the movies. In the purest sense, it's unadulterated escapism. And these are the reasons why Jurassic World The Ride is a good ride. Now you're ready. Why not check out another video in this series, such as The Revenge of the Mummy? It'll be on screen now. And while you're here, what attraction should we cover next in this series? Let us know in the comments below and we'll pick one of them for our next installment.